here's the garage. It's all cleaned out and waiting for its new resident. And I thought I would show you what I've been up to. Here we have a whole bunch of tools, workshop stuff, and rudimentary organization. So over here I have a bunch of nails and screws and random things on a shelf that I got out of the barn. And then over here is a pegboard I got from the old property, and I stuck a bunch of tools on it. So it'll give me a bit of a workspace. We have all the boxes that we still need to unpack. And then here I've put a collection of our antique tools and things that we've scavenged from this property and from the other property. Cool old tools. This one's actually from the old property, and it says Clifford on it, which was the name of the family that lived in that house. There's this I found out in the bottle pile, this trailer plate, and this was here. And some ice skates and horseshoes. So I also found in the back of this space an envelope of all of the registrations of all of the cars that have been owned by the people on the property. It's like this thick thing. So I don't know if the Historical Society cares about that sort of thing, but I thought it was interesting. Another interesting thing is I collect tools from other people. Well, from my family. This is my dad's hammer. And I also have a hammer from my aunt that I use for jewelry making when I have that set up. And a couple other things. But unpacking now, finally unpacking. And just thought you'd like to see where our new resident is going to be. So, big reveal at the end of the episode. See you then.
All right, I have brought out the ducklings, and today's the day. I'm going to release them into the flock, and we're going to see how it goes. Because I am really sick and tired of having ducklings in my house. They stink, and they're just a pain. So, let's see how this goes. I think it'll be fine. I don't think anyone's going to fight, because I have the drakes locked up. But let's see how we do, if they come out. Here come their mamas and aunties. Come on out, say hi. Oop, you got a little bullying happening, just a little. Those are the Indian runner ducks on the right. They have definitely been more curious about the baby birds than my harlequin ducks have. It's funny too, because that white one there is a hen. I would have expected the drakes to be more aggressive, but I think it's going to be fine. That's not too bad. Alright, come on out, everybody. And I'll keep an eye on them throughout the day, and we'll see how they do. And if they do really well, I'll even leave them out overnight in the coop. So we will keep our eye on these babies today. We'll check back in later. It's a few hours later, and we're back to check on these babies, and they've decided that they're happier in the crate. Even though the door's wide open, they feel safer in there, I guess. So we'll see how they do. All right, they did it. They spent the night in the coop with everybody else. They went in on their own when I was putting everyone away last night. And I just left them with the rest of the ducks, and they did totally fine. So here they are. The big kids, they're outside and they're not stinking up my house anymore. Wonderful. All right, I am out here by the driveway, and I'm going to give you a little tour of the potted plants that I have set up. I've been collecting some glazed pottery pots and some concrete planters and things over the years, and I've decided just to pot them all up with some pretty annual flowers this year. It's a bit of a mess, but let's check out what I got going on. So we have some canna bulbs that I brought with me. I've had them in the basement over the winter, and this one's just sprouting, a tiny little sprout coming up. I've got some cosmos from seed coming up. I have some zinnias that I grew from seed. I have sweet potatoes that I started the slips, and they got a little sunburned when I moved them out. And I have a whole bunch more inside. I just need more soil, and I have more grow bags, so I'll be doing that this week. I have these tiny, really cool, these are called currant tomatoes, and the tomatoes are so tiny, and they are very tasty. They're just super small, but I thought it was cute, so I grew those. I have a dying euphorbia that I got at a garden center, and I don't know what's wrong with it. Maybe the sun is killing it, but it's looking pretty sad. I have some bachelor buttons that should be opening very soon. Oh, a tiny, tiny bit of blue coming out. Some verbena, snapdragons, blue salvia that I got at a garden center. This little thing, which I don't know what it is. We got a bronze fennel from seed. Some other things, I don't really know what they are. Some gazanias that I got at a garden center. Red salvias. More tomatoes. Some little marigolds. These are the pink variety that aren't really pink. They're less orangey red. But I grew those from seed. Some coreopsis. Tick seed. Coreopsis. That's a perennial, so this will be put in the ground at the end of the season. It's in a plastic pot for now. I have some more inside that I started because it did so well. Dahlias, petunias. These are some calendulas that I grew from seed, which are supposed to be a pinkish color. I went with all the kind of pink things this year. Trying them out, and I don't know. We'll see. These are nasturtiums, which I believe these are all red nasturtiums, but they all came up from seed. Dahlias that I did not grow from seed. I just got them at a garden center we stopped at the other day. Some more of those. I believe these are more of the pink marigolds. Blue-eyed grass. I forget what this is called. It looks like a hen and chicks, but it's not exactly the same. Portulaca from seed. Some more pots that are empty, some more cannas, and then over at the table, I have another. This is some Joe Pye weed. It's a little wilted because it's hot right now, but these are going to go in the ground. I got these as a root. Just, it came in a plastic bag full of peat moss. But it's growing well. Some asters. I believe these will be purple. This is a Mexican mint marigold, which I cut it back because it was getting spindly, but it's starting to reflower. Some holy basil, a bunch of more seedlings, cosmos, zinnias, borage. Oh, these are those so-called pink marigolds, which when they first come out, they're just less orange than the regular one. These are just regular ones. So yeah, it's a different shade. I don't know. It's pretty. Some more calendulas. I don't know if these are yellow or orange. I don't think they're the pink ones. Sunflowers, borage, more zinnias, another one of those currant tomatoes. These are some dahlias that I grew from seed, which I don't think, honestly, this isn't what the flower was supposed to look like, so I think I was duped. It was an Etsy purchase. But they're pretty no matter, even if they're not what they were supposed to be. So that's a little tour of my annual flowers here, which as they grow, I'm going to arrange this to look a little better. It's kind of a mess right now. But a nice backdrop of all the weeds and wildflowers. And you can hear an angry pine squirrel squeaking at me. So yeah, so those are my potted plants. So now I'm over by the garage, and this is where I have put a bunch of the trees and perennial plants that I've either bought seeds of, cuttings, or bare root plants online. So let's check out what I got going on here. I have a whole bunch. I got these as cuttings from Etsy. And these are elderberries, so I have, I don't know how many, like 10 different elderberries, which are great for the birds and wildlife. And you can also use the flowers and the berries to you can make wine, you can make a syrup out of them. People make elderberry cordial. So I've got a lot of those. These are chestnuts that I got the seeds for. They're a hybrid chestnut. So they are a hybrid of the American chestnut, which is suffering from a blight, which is basically killing them all. So this is a hybrid between an Asian chestnut and an American chestnut. Hopefully it will be resistant, and we'll see. Just basically going to grow them, see how they do. If they can attract some wildlife, feed the pigs, I don't know. We have a, what is this? Lilac. This is a lilac. And we have some of them have labels. This is a bush cherry. I have 2 of those. There's another one down. Maybe a hawthorn. I lost some, so I have some labels, but as you can see, the labels faded in the sun. So this is Eastern redbud. I can see the bud part. We'll save that. But that one is a redbud. Mulberry tree. We have, I think this is a crabapple. This is another bush cherry. I think this is a flowering dogwood of some sort. This is a hardy pecan, which I thought was dead, but it started to come up from the ground. We're going to see how this does. I hear that the tree will live, but you might not get the nuts up here because we're zone 5. But we'll see. And we have another mulberry behind it. We have some native plums. These 2 are native plums. They make an edible little plum, and they're also good for cross-pollinating with domestic plums. So I'll get some more of those. Another bush cherry. These are kiwi vines that I got from cuttings, 2 from Etsy. They're a little struggling here. They didn't love the move outside from, I rooted them indoors. But they're alive for the most part. So yeah, I have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. I think I've got 4 females and 2 males in this pot. So you need male and female with the kiwi vine. And that makes like a berry size, like a grape sized kiwi fruit that tastes just like a kiwi, but it's not fuzzy. I grew them at our old property and they're pretty tasty. Well, we'll see how they do. We're gonna build a nice arbor for them. I have some more trees over here through the weeds. I've got a butternut tree, which will grow into a very large, beautiful tree. Makes an edible nut. And this is a black walnut tree. It's pretty tall. And these are service berries, which I spent money on buying service berries online this winter and then realized this spring that I have about 5,000 service berries growing wild on the property. So I might just give that to a friend or something. And what else do I have? Oh, over here I have some sad house plants. And some figs that I got from cuttings as I trip over an empty pot. So we have these figs, which rooted. They are alive. This one lost its leaves, but it's still alive. I put them in a shadier spot because they were getting scalded. You can see the leaves are scalded. But I think they're going to survive. So we are zone 5 here, like I said, and this is an experiment to see how they do. I'm going to have to mulch them heavily in the winter and find the right spot to plant them. But we'll let them grow in these pots for a while until they're really rooted. And we'll see how they do. And then on my table of mess, oh, my orchid cactus has some buds. But that's a houseplant. We're not talking about that. I have persimmon seeds that have sprouted. I'm super excited. I have hazelnuts that have sprouted. And I have pawpaws over here which have not sprouted. But I have these persimmons that I got from seed that have sprouted. My nephew had given me a persimmon tree last year and I planted it, but I think the deer ate it or something ate it because it did not come back this spring. I thought it was there, but it just never came back. But I forgot to show you over here, I have some persimmon. I got bare root tree persimmons. So these were very slow in growing, but I thought they were dead, but they're alive. So I have 2 other persimmon that I got bare root. So they're alive. I'm excited. So that is my tour of some of the little trees that I'm going to be adding to the farm to help with attracting wildlife and making food for people and animals. So there you have it. Little update on the bantams. All 11 are doing great. Growing. All right. Now I am heading out past the birds to show you where I want to put a vegetable garden. So this year I don't really have a spot for a vegetable garden. We bought this property and it's, run down and overgrown, and there hasn't been a garden here in years. So all I have is, beautiful pastures, but no real spot to start something this year. So what my plan is to prepare a good patch of soil. So we're just gonna walk over here through the wildflowers. Ooh. Oh, let's just pause here and see. Ooh, Tiger swallowtail flew away. Got a lot of butterflies here. Gee, I wonder why. All right, through the meadow. And here we have this beautiful patch. Really beautiful. This is where I've been dumping all the moldy hay from the barn, all of the chicken coop cleanings, you know, the wood chips full of manure, compost, coffee grounds, wood ash. Been dumping it here, smothering out this weedy patch. And we have put some poles, I don't know if you can see them in this video. There's some poles with the yellow insulators on them from electric fence. We just used to mark out a boundary. So we're gonna make a pretty big area here that will be next summer's vegetable garden. So plan is to just keep throwing manure and everything in this patch. And then when the piglets get a little bigger, we're gonna pen them in out here so they can dig up all of this, mix it all together, spend a few months fertilizing it, and hopefully by next spring, I'll have a good spot to start a more formal vegetable garden. And this year I'm just gonna grow a few veggies here and there in grow bags and pots. So like some zucchinis and tomatoes and things like that. Now I've also started planting a whole bunch of pumpkins, winter squash, and gourds, birdhouse gourds in particular. Because you know how I love my birds and my birdhouses. So I'll show you some of the ones I've planted already. So we're here next to the road, and I have just been popping in pumpkins and squashes in just random spots. There's one there, got one here, and I honestly do not know what they are. I just planted seeds in 6-packs. I did not label them. And it's a mixture of like 6 different kinds of pumpkins and different winter squashes. There's one there. And oh, here's one here. And in this little meadow here, it's kind of moist and nice. I planted more. So there's throughout the grass, I have popped in just randomly little squashes and pumpkins. There's one there. And there's a few more in this area. Now we have had a snowshoe hare move into the farm. We've noticed in the last few days. And I think it has been nibbling some of my squash that I put out. I found one that was totally eaten. So we'll see how they do, if the hare eats them or not. But I guess that's life, that's nature. It was cool to see the hare. And there's a big birdhouse gourd that I planted. I remember that one is a birdhouse gourd. At least if one of them lives, I will get some birdhouse gourds. So, in a few months, we'll see if this becomes a big old squash patch. That is my wish.
Now that I have the garage emptied out and we have our new delivery, I'm going to show it to you. It's here. It just arrived.
This is what I come home to. What do you think?
This is our new TYM T25 Tractor. It's 25 horsepower, It comes with this front loader. It has a cup holder, 4-wheel drive. This is the PTO operation here. There's a toolbox. It has the control for the front loader. And this is the throttle. And it has a wireless charger for your phone, another cup holder, and wireless Bluetooth speakers. This is the ROPS. It's currently in this position because we keep it in the garage. But I'm not actually using it right now. But it's a fantastic machine. It has left and right brakes if you choose to use those. And with this, we got some accessories. So I will show you those. One thing we got is this mower. So that's going to attach to the back of the tractor. And we'll drag it around, back it into the fields in this area here that you see. And then we also got this land plane. So we have quite a road to fix. So I'm going to show you the road and what we need to do to it. When we bought this property, it came with a road that starts with the driveway and then continues on in this direction. And it goes past the barn, past these fields. This is a slightly swampy area. Look at all these irises. It's amazing. This is where Matt planted some pumpkins. So if you continue on the road here, this is up by the bird area, where the gardens will be. The poor little collapsed barn. So you can see the road here. It's kind of been interrupted by this culvert that somebody recently dug. So the road is overgrown and it's just so beautiful though. We almost don't want to do anything to it. And look at all these beautiful flowers. So you can't even tell that there's a road here. But there is. And then there's these millstones, well, they're grindstones from the knife sharpening shop that used to be here. We've got the apple tree. There's so many little apples on the apple tree. Look at that. There weren't really many on it last year, so I'm optimistic. The tree stand that's not very safe. So the road continues by this very overgrown section of the field. One major reason why we got the tractor is to help us mow this all down. There's some pretty tall trees happening. So on the left here is the trees that separate the two fields. Some birds. And then down here, there's a little area where the two fields converge. And the road, you can see down here, this little marshy spot. So that's the other field here. And then this is the road. I mean, I'm calling it a road, but it doesn't look like much of a road right now. You can see it's just wheel ruts. I think there used to be another little path of some sort that went off that way to that field that's up on the right. But you can see how overgrown this is. So I'm thinking I'm probably gonna have to come through here with the mower first and get this tamed before I can come back with the land plane. So there's a field up here on the right. Well, I call it a field. It was a field once, and it used to be just as large on the left here, but that's much more overgrown now. So we'll tame at least this side and get this road into more of a road. I mean, it's very difficult to walk, especially in the wet season, and it's bumpy otherwise, even if it's not wet. So it's the only real way to get back. You can get halfway back in the property using this road, or on the left side, you can get back through the woods pretty well without paths. So, I mean, look at this. Look how beautiful this is. It's almost a shame to do anything with it, but if we don't, we're not going to have a road at all. So there's a good rise in the middle. So at the end of that field, there's a patch of woods. There's some kind of clearings to the left. Road. You can see how it's a lot of just stony rivets. Rivets? No, I don't mean rivets. Ruts. So we're coming up onto what we call the second meadow. And the second meadow has one part where it's more overgrown, and then the second part of it that's more cleared. So here you can see the little seasonal stream that runs from the neighbors down through the property. And it follows the second meadow. So that's what's up here. You can see it's quite overgrown on the left here. There's some nice trees here like this big evergreen. There's some really nice big trees up there in the woods. So we need to get some goats or sheep in here to help clear up this area. It's one of the reasons we got the pigs, is to help us clear land. So this big area back here, this opens up after these little trees on the left. A lot of these are willows, these trees. Like this tall one right in front of me. We have quite a lot of pussy willows in the early spring. So the road, it kind of goes down here to the left, down to where the stream is at the end of that clearing. But then it continues on this way. So this all needs to be civilized. This is what we call the second meadow, really, is this clearing right here. There's an evergreen right in the middle of it, and a number of them bordering the old border of the field. So there's a fence right behind some of those trees. And then this tree fell in the same storm that took the little barn back in January of 24. It's not quite dead, but I don't expect much from it. So here is the gate that used to separate the second meadow from the from the rest of the road. There's a gate here. You can see how well into the tree it's grown. So it used to continue off to the left, all the way down to the end of the meadow, across the stream even. And there's still a wire fence down there. So this is where the road is actually quite pretty and doesn't need necessarily a lot of maintenance. There's a big old stone pile here and some bricks. So I think we might be able to come and get some of that if we needed stone for a wall. But look how overgrown this is. These ferns are 3 feet tall. So it's a shame, but if we let it grow too much more, we're not going to have a road. So here we have the bottle pile, or the first bottle pile that I'm still excavating. We're going to eventually remove all that and then take out whatever is good from it. And so the road continues here. The neighbor's property is right up in here on the right. And this is a nice little mossy area. There's a bit of a wetland to the left there. So this needs, I mean, at the very least, some mowing. There's some birds. So there's some more wetlands down here. We'll be able to get to them from the other side. Right now I just have to clear this fallen tree. See if I can just go around it. Oops, no, too many sticks. This way. Okay, so back down the road. So down here is where there's a gate to the other meadow. I guess we call it the third meadow. There's a little bit of a wetland right here. And here's the old gate. It's got some neat old gate hardware on it. Look at it too. So this used to be a giant meadow or a field that went probably 4 acres around this entire area, big circle. So I'm going to follow the perimeter here. There's a fence that you can't really see. It's on the left here. And you can see the little swampy area in here. There's the fence. So here's the fence. And there's a little swampy area. So this is a bit of a switchback in the road, so I'm going the opposite way. And we're going to go into what we call the third meadow. And sometimes we call it the perfect pine meadow because Matt's brother Bob coined that term when he saw the pines that were in the meadow and how well shaped they are. We've got some cute flowers here. So the old fence is still in there, maybe 30 feet in. So this is the opening to the last of our meadows. You can see how overgrown it is. So that's pretty much the end of the road, as it were. You can see here this really cool spruce maybe. This great trunk. And this meadow is interesting because it has strawberries. Let's see if I can find some of the strawberries. Oh, here's some. There we go. Not very ripe. I don't have them on this face. Covering this whole field with strawberries. So, That's why we needed to get the tractor. To get this road civilized, and get these fields civilized, and get this farm back to being a farm. So I'm gonna head back to the farm now. Well, that's it for us this episode. Thank you for watching, and we hope you enjoyed it. If you could like, comment, and subscribe. Subscribe.
Subscribe. And so next week's video, we will be getting this baby up and running and maybe trying out that mower.
Yeah, hopefully plowing some fields.
And mowing some fields, not plowing really. We're mowing. Maybe try out the, whatever that thing is called. The road plane.
A land plane.
Land plane. Yeah, so tune in next week for another exciting episode of Life on Pumpkin Ridge.
Bye.
Bye.